Hi climbers, and welcome to the Treehouse. My name's Ree and this is the tarot tree, and in today's reading I thought we'd do something a little bit different and have a little gaze into some of our past lives. It's something that interests me a lot, and I'm sure lots of you also, so why not? We're going to particularly be looking at the lessons and the traits that we have carried from these past lives into this life and how they may help us in what our purpose is this time around. I think it's very cool and fun to look at past lives, and people do lots of in-depth ones looking at personality, etc. What time frame were you guys living in, what age and eras, which is all lots of fun. But I thought we'll keep this one a bit more about the lessons. What have we learned? What karma do we have to undo, or perhaps elements we need to grow upon in this lifetime that we might not have had the opportunity to the last time round. So yeah, that's basically what it's going to be about. I'll outline it a bit more in detail when we get to your readings, but yeah, we have 3 piles to choose from today. Pile number 1, so you guys over here with this big beautiful cream beauty, very smooth and shiny. I think it's ammonite, not so sure, all I know is a fossil. So yeah, that is your one, pile number 1. Let's see the back side. There we go. And next up, pile number 2, you have this beautiful dark kind of black, kind of brown offering, very ancient looking fossil here. Love the detail that's been captured in this one, spiral. So that will be your guys, that's the back, pile number 2. And last but not least, pile number 3 is you have this little diddy offering, very smooth shiny 2-toned fossil here with a lot of quartz actually running through it seems, which is really sweet. So that will be yours, pile number 3. Okay, take your time, there's no wrong or right way to choose a pile, just let your intuition guide you, what one draws you in the most. And if it's more than one, you might just have different messages from different past lives here that can all be relevant for today. So yeah, take your time, use your intuition, and I shall see you in your reading. Hi pile number 1s, if this is the fossil you chose, then this will be your past life reading. Okay, big energy of you guys, you chose the biggest fossil here. A lot of light energy in this also. But I digress. Let's move you over there. Let me explain a little how this reading is going to work, okay? First and foremost, I'm going to be looking at some oracle cards, okay? And we're going to be doing that in 3 sections. The first section, oracle cards, are going to show what personality, what kind of identity were you kind of inhibiting in your most recent past life, okay? What traits did you have? Maybe what were you doing? Where were you in the world? And things of that nature. Okay, then the second pile of oracle cards that you have are going to be showing what gifts and talents do you have from this lifetime, this past lifetime, that you have now brought into this lifetime, okay? So the gifts that you had back then that you now still retain. And thirdly, we're going to be looking at what challenges did you face in that lifetime that may still be giving you a little bit of a kind of headache, or kind of causing a little bit of problems in this lifetime that still maybe need to be overcome, okay, that wasn't able to be overcome last time. So that's the 3 main headings we're going to be looking at, and then we're going to be diving deeper into to see how they're fitting into your purpose in this lifetime, etc. Things that will help help us find our way a bit more from these past lessons. So I hope that sounds all good to you guys. Quite a lot going on here, but yes, there's going to be quite a lot of cards. So let's just dive in, why not? Okay, we're going to start off with what energy was you in, what identity, who were you? Okay, first and foremost, we're pulling the Traveler card. Okay, and you guys also came with 2 animal spirit cards, which I also found very interesting. I kept asking for 1 and it just 2 just popped out. So here we have the Gazelle, the Cosmic Egg, and the Traveler. So right off the bat, I have to say this. You guys are a very, very spiritual group. Okay? You had spiritual gifts in this past lifetime, I want to say. I don't feel like they could be fully acknowledged though. Because I feel like you were in a timeline that potentially had persecution for this, or these gifts that you had were not widely accepted, but you had a lot of enthusiasm for, you know, if it wasn't actually physical travel, which I do feel for some of you, you definitely did travel around a lot because you just had this thirst for knowledge, learning from different cultures, etc., different faiths, things of this nature. I see a lot of you as potentially being healers of that nature, I'm getting, and you just had this call to go out and learn and meet as many new people and learn as much new things as you could. You believe that was your calling, and if you wasn't physically able to do that by traveling, you were definitely going within, okay, or you were definitely trying to meet these kind of needs and meet these people within the kind of limited space you may have been in. Okay, definitely a kind of traveling soul here. So in this lifetime, you may or may not, I'm feeling you probably do, you may find yourself being a little bit of a kind of, what's the word, having that sort of wanderlust still, I want to say. Now, why I want to say you was highly spiritual, you have the cosmic egg here. Now, this is the card that is linked to, you know, our final chakra, you know, that crown chakra there links us to the divine, you know, the universe, spirit, whatever you want to call it. Okay, but what I'm seeing here is a lot of protective energy over this, and it was hidden. I don't think it was any coincidence that we have the gazelle falling over the cosmic egg. Okay, the gazelle can be very gracious, very perceptive person, you know, a lot of feminine energy I get from this group. You know, either you were in that energy in your last lifetime, perhaps you still are. Again, I don't attribute that to gender specifically, okay, I'm just seeing a lot of divine feminine energy here, even with this traveler lady here. Okay, very perceptive, very graceful person, but also fearful is what the gazelle is, very hyper aware. And I feel like this was because of the circumstances and the era that you may have been in, and you were feeling this way because of this connection or these interests you had in the divine and seeking out this knowledge, when it may not have been what's the word, looked upon in a good way, and you may have been met with persecution. Because I'm also getting off this traveler card that maybe you had to move, you know, if these things were found out about you, you know, if you were a healer, if you were someone that questioned a dominant faith in the place you was in at the time, you know, you would have been met with potentially quite severe repercussions for that, and hence this fearful energy covering that cosmic egg there, you know, that connection you had to the divine. I find that very interesting. Even having said that, I feel like you're a very strong individual, when that drive within you at the time, you know, still made you want to do all these things. I just feel like you was doing it in secret, most likely. I also get very, like I said healer energy of you. I get that from you. I think that was a very big drive for you in this past life, which may have led to you traveling about to kind of share your knowledge or gifts with people to help heal people. If you were, I'm getting herbalist energy off of this. And, you know, back in the day, sometimes these were looked as being kind of witchy kind of traits in a negative connotation. And, you know, especially females that could do this, you know, were persecuted strongly. I feel like it could have made you guys have to leave where you began life and sit out somewhere else. So maybe some of you well, what do they want to call, what are they called, the pilgrims? Oh, I forget the word now. So I do feel you had to move around because of this, which is very interesting. There's also an element that with the cosmic egg covered, that you may have felt disconnected from those around you, actually. Like, I'm getting a sadness there, you know, this want to help, but this fear of, or if I show these kind of interests or this knowledge I have, what will happen? I have to be very hyper aware. But you're very clever. I don't feel that you did get caught, if that is the case, because I feel like you were very vigilant with this gazelle energy, you know, and you were strong. 100%, very perceptive person. Very protective, you know, even this snake here coiled around the egg. Very protective energy here. Strong, perceptive, very, I'd say outgoing still for the time. Willing to kind of move, wanting to explore, even if you were in a limited kind of situation. You were doing it, whether it was you was reading books, you know, and learning, rather than actually visiting places. You was learning about it through, you know, either word of mouth from other people you sought out, like mentors or books, etc. You were intelligent, definitely, and very, very curious, and that served you well. Okay, let's move on to the next bit now and see how this story all fits. And we're going to look at what gifts, okay, what gifts did you have in this past lifetime that you're bringing in to this lifetime? Okay, oh wow, yes, definitely our spiritual group here. High Priestess, Harness Mystic Power, and the Riddle. Fascinating. Don't quite know how all these cards are going to fit here, but we're going to make do. Okay, so we already saw here that you had a connection to the divine, and with the riddle again, that's just reiterated. That is a gift you have. You have a connection to it, okay? And you have a very strong intuition with the High Priestess being here. Okay, that's what I want to say. And these are gifts that you have in this lifetime. 100%. I'm getting very witchy vibes of this. Maybe some of you actually identify as a witch in this day and age, okay? Or some sort of priestess, something of that nature. It's coming through very strong. That's very strong spiritual, divine, feminine energy, okay? Very connected to source, okay? And disciplined and patient with that, okay? The riddle is something, you know, you don't kind of, what's the word? These things might not always make sense to us, but you have the ability to go with the flow, go within, and just, you know, be at one with it. You know, I don't get the impression that you were scared by this, you know, and this is making me feel like you've had many lifetimes before. I want to say potentially you may have been a priestess in a very ancient lifetime, way before this, and these are gifts you've carried through each age. And unfortunately, you know, during different ages, these gifts were not looked upon in the same way as they once were. Obviously, high priestesses were usually leaders of kind of the spiritual aspects of life in ancient times, you know, highly regarded, very, very highly regarded. And then, you know, as we got out of those ages, unfortunately, you know, times change, and people with those gifts were not looked upon in the same way. And this is part of your soul's elevation and growth, is to go through all these kind of different iterations and different scenarios regarding your gifts. I definitely think there is some sort of purpose behind this. I also want to say you're a very highly protected person, with the cat here also. Highly protected person. You have spirit guides around you, you have power animals around you in this lifetime now, and you have had them there for a very long time. You may have a very good relationship with animals, particularly felines, particularly cats, okay? You may have familiars, you may see the animals around you in this lifetime as your familiars also, but you have had them in your past lives, and they want to let you know that you are protected. I want to let you know that. Okay, highly spiritual, highly in tune with your intuition, highly in tune with source. Some of you actually may be able to see into the other realms, is what I'm getting from that. I'm getting a lot of clairvoyance energy from here. Very strongly, being able to see spirits and things, you know. And that can be quite scary. But I don't feel like this is something you were scared of particularly because I feel like you have gone through this with this gift for quite a few lifetimes. But I feel maybe in this last lifetime, what was the fear here, because I do get a little bit of in the shadows energy of this riddle card, was sharing this, okay, being able to share this. There was a time you would stand proud and share this, you know, these were gifts that people would come to you, specifically seek you out to help them with in an ancient lifetime of yours. But, you know, in this most recent one, not so much, okay? And let's just lay out these last cards to just see what was your biggest challenge in the past life, and that may be lingering into this one. Okay. Oh wow, it's beautiful how this is actually showing itself here, because the arrow is about protecting yourself, and here we have, I forgot his name, begins with B. He's a cat within the ancient Egyptian kind of lore, and he's a protector, okay? That's what he's doing. He's protecting his priestess right there, okay? And even she is, you can see in this lifetime, it seems as though you were keeping people, you know, people at arm's length because you did not trust sharing these gifts with them because of persecution, I want to say, or not being understood. And that was your biggest challenge. You know, we have an arrow and a fearful world, both backing that up. You know, you had to separate yourself from people because there were people who did not have your best interests at heart. Because of the gifts that you had, you could not share this, okay? You could not share that. And this may lead, you know, this may have led to some distrust within others within this lifetime. I definitely want to say that. I definitely feel like there may be aspects of this challenge that are still being felt in this lifetime. Okay, so that is something that needs to be worked on for sure. Another message that's coming through strongly here actually is, if some of you in particular do have kind of abilities to see things beyond the veil, spirits, things, you know, other entities, I feel like you were unable to learn how to protect yourself fully in this last lifetime. Most likely because in ancient lifetimes where you may have had this same gift, you and it wasn't persecuted, you would have had mentors openly available to you to help teach you how to kind of create those boundaries and be able to shut off kind of thing. I don't know why, but here I get a lot of sort of draining kind of, you know, bad kind of, what they look kind of like demonic kind of energies here. I don't want to say that, you know, to trigger anyone or anything, but definitely it seems as though you were struggling to shut off from whatever these connections you had to these other entities you may have seen, or energies you may have, you know, encountered, because you were unable to have a mentor to teach you how to switch off this. Like I said, you have a huge massive connection to source here, you know, and sometimes when that's kind of open, that third eye is open, a lot can come through with that, and you know, it can be quite scary, it can be quite overwhelming, and I feel like maybe it wasn't open to you in this past lifetime to learn how to manage that. So you might have, you know, built up quite a lot of fear in that regard. So it isn't just fear in regards to the physical people of the time, you know, not understanding you or your gifts and fearing that persecution. I feel like some of what might have come through with these gifts might have also caused a few problems with energetic boundaries and protection, particularly. Okay, because I'm getting quite a lot of heavy energy off this kind of aspect here, which is the challenge aspect. I also feel like a lot of you may be actually incredibly empathic, and that's also another thing that you needed to learn, which may have made you keep people at arm's length, and potentially this is something you are still dealing with in this lifetime. I want to say, not taking on a lot of other people's energies, you know, and being able to kind of remain calm within your own space, etc. Very interesting that. So much protective energy here. Like I said, please, like this is a message that is definitely coming through. You do have protective guides around you, and animals are coming through strongly. If you have pets, I do feel like they play a role in this, or they're going to if you're looking into getting some. that might be something that may have made you feel more safe in this past life and will potentially make you feel more safe in this one. Okay, you need to remember you are protected. Surround yourself with protective energy, okay? And I feel like this is the lesson. I feel like some of you may definitely be looking into these things right now. You know, how to protect your energy if you're an empath, how to protect your energy if you are someone that's very highly connected to, you know, the other, and how to make sure that you have those boundaries in place to protect yourself from things you do not want stepping into your space and your energy, okay? You don't want to be drained by being able to filter that, being able to now be in an era where you can seek help for those things from mentors again, you know, people who will help you with that. I feel like that is a big part of your next step within this lifetime, or it will be. That seems to be coming through strongly. There is fear that I feel. This fear is very strong in this challenge, which makes me feel like it definitely has been carried over into this lifetime. 100%. And it is around security and safety, particularly around embracing your gifts or your authenticity in who you are, and these things that maybe you haven't always seen as gifts because they've caused you, you know, stress, potential heartache, fear in the past and in this past life. Okay, this is going to be a challenge to get through in this lifetime, and I feel like you are heading the right way to do that. You are going to find the ways to protect yourself in this lifetime, but not in the sense that you're going to be keeping people at arm's length. I have to put that through very strongly. This is also giving me a huge indication that this lifetime in particular is for you to find your soul tribe and those people that resonate with you, so you don't feel so isolated, okay? There's no need for you to feel isolated, I'm being told, okay? Even if you are living in a place in the world right now that it seems more restrictive, or a culture or, you know, institutions that you're part of that feel restricted, you have more open to you in this lifetime is what I need to tell you guys, okay? From this past one, you know, you have access to maybe social media, blogs, internet, ways to connect to people outside of your kind of you know, immediate vicinity, I want to say. And obviously, like I said, it does depend on where you are in the world, but if you have access to watching this YouTube video, then I'm fairly sure you have access to these other things that will be able to help you with this, if these are gifts that you acknowledge within yourself. And I want to definitely tell you, do not be scared, okay? I need to be telling you that there's nothing to be scared of. I'm getting a very strong, don't know why that's getting a bit emotional, a grandmother, a strong female ancestor just came through there very strongly. So this may be a gift that is passed down in your family line, I want to say. Definitely through the females, I want to say, or the feminine energy, 100%. Because that just came through very strongly. And they're telling me to tell you, do not be scared. Do not be afraid. I'm also getting that past self of yours telling me that also. I don't know why I'm seeing I don't know if any of you are familiar with Avatar The Last Airbender, but all the avatars, and they line up with his past iterations. They come to him and they give him advice from their lifetimes. I'm getting that energy strongly, and there's lots of you. So for me, that shows me that what I said earlier, as in I feel like you guys have been around the block quite a few times and you are highly spiritual, okay, highly connected because of this reason, okay? You just had to go through the ups and downs of living through different eras where these things are either accepted or not accepted. Okay, I want to let you know that you can draw upon all of that knowledge. It's there within you. Okay, if you're willing to go within with the traveler, travel within. Or if you have a very strong calling, I need to tell you this as well, to go to a certain place or investigate and explore a certain culture you're very drawn to, please do so. I know that travel is a bit limited right now in terms of physically traveling in this aspect, you know, which is something that seems to mirror kind of what this past life was, giving to us. But obviously there are other ways to do so. You can always explore, reignite that again. You did it in this past life. I feel like a lot of you are already on that path in this life already. Like, you know, you're a student, you want to learn, you have this thirst for knowledge. And you want to help people ultimately. I get very kind energy off of this read. Okay, even though it may feel overwhelming, this is why getting through this challenge in this lifetime is going to be so important for you guys and your growth and your spiritual elevation. If you can learn to have this kind of these healthy boundaries and protective energies, learn these things, you know, what helps you. Is it smudging? Is it having meditation? Is it having visualizations of clearing energy from your space? You know, affirmations you say out loud, say, you know, I'm not taking any negative energies that do not belong to me. Okay, even if it's something as small as that, these things, you can learn this and not feel fearful of being this sort of open nerve to these things. You know, you will feel the wonder of the riddle again. Okay, because maybe it has become a bit dark for you in these most recent iterations of life. You know, but it's not meant to be. I'm being told it's not meant to be, because you've gone through it so many times that you do have the discipline and patience and wonder to still look into these things and still be connected to them with that high priestess energy. I feel like moon energy is very important to you guys also, so maybe the moon is something you guys want to work with. Okay, particularly if you're highly intuitive, highly emotional, and you're an empath as well. Getting a lot of water sign energy from this group, throw that out there. Work with the moon. Okay, she is your friend. She may help you clear some of this past life you know, hangover. You know, wait till you get those full moons and do your rituals. Learn these things. I'm being told to release these fears bit by bit. Obviously it's going to be a process, but I'm being told you can get there, and it's in releasing these fears that you're going to fully embrace these gifts that didn't have the chance to flourish and bloom in your most recent past life. Okay, and that's going to open up whole new worlds for you guys, 100%. And I feel like you guys are going to be helping people with this. You're going to be helping people with your empathic gifts, your spiritual gifts, you know. Get a lot of healing, like I said, healer energy off you guys, messenger energy also. You know, if you are someone that can communicate with those, you know, in some sort of medium kind of way, you know, these gifts, they're important, you know, they can really help people, you know, throughout this lifetime. And if you have these gifts, I'm being told to tell you, don't be afraid of them. You have them for a reason. They're here to be used, okay? They're here to be used, but this fear has to be getting over first. Okay, this fear. So I feel like we need to look into what's going to help with this challenge and this fear. What can help you become less fearful of these gifts that you have, more connected with the right kind of energy and the right kind of people, your soul tribe. What's going to help us with that? So I'm going to look into that now. Okay, so we're going to look into what is going to help, okay? What is going to help our power ones, you know, get over these fears, you know, and be able to embrace these gifts in this lifetime, as I feel like this is something that's very big for you in this one, okay? What is going to help them? I'm going to pull 3 cards from this deck, okay? What is going to help? Oh, everything's going everywhere. What is going to help pile 1? What is going to help pile 1 to get over these fears of their gifts right now? What is going to help them in this lifetime of this challenge, if it is still, which I think it is, weighing down on them? Okay, we have coffee. Interesting. So connection coming off straight from the bat. Okay, we have connection. Okay, connecting, discussions, catching up. So, okay, let's pull 2 more before. Let's just get a bit more of a bigger picture. What is going to help? Oopsie daisy. Everything's going everywhere. What is going to help our ones overcoming these fears that have built up from this past lifetime over their gifts? What is going to help them? Oh, we got 2 cards that wanted to come out there, flung themselves. Okay, we have the Sun, and then yes in reverse, which is very interesting. Okay, I'm getting a picture here. So my beautiful pile number 1s, what's going to help? Bottom deck energy, water, we'll get to that. What is going to help you with like relieving these fears, you know, having these healthy boundaries, and kind of not feeling so isolated, I want to say, because of this, you know, and kind of potentially rejecting your gifts, is connection, okay? And that is coming through very strongly. You have to do your best, okay, to connect with others in this lifetime, which can be scary, because if you're holding out fears maybe from a past lifetime, or even from experiences in this lifetime of maybe when you've opened up about certain things and people think, oh, you're weird, you're strange, etc., and you feel rejected potentially, you know, still try and remain open to that, okay? That's going to be fundamentally, and I have to stress this, fundamentally important. Do not isolate yourself, okay? Connect, you know. We've got the three, it's like the Three of Cups here, like, and I feel like it's going to be through showing your authentic self, okay? That is the thing, obviously, just getting over that. But if you feel like, you know, come on here on YouTube. There's such a beautiful kind of spiritual tarot, oracle, you know, everything going on community. There's a community for everyone. If this is something that you know you have a gift in, you're going to find, or something that really interests you. If your gifts might not have been, you know, you might be saying, oh, I don't feel like I have these gifts. I'm telling you, you definitely have them. You might not have awakened them yet. I do think the majority you probably have. But even if it's just the inkling that inside you, something that you're really drawn to, okay, you're going to find a community somewhere online. If it's not going to be in your general vicinity, that you're going to meet like-minded people, and you're being encouraged to do this, okay? Just light-hearted. Look at this, you know, it may even be you're meeting from people from really different places with really different outlooks on life. Always look at this and see the coffees. They're two very different people with two very different tastes in coffee, but they're sitting there having, you know, a coffee, you know, date, or, you know, discussion regardless. And I feel you're such an inquisitive and curious person. You've carried that onto this lifetime, that you're willing to sit down and talk with people from different walks of life. And this is going to enrich you. This is going to help you build confidence. This is what is going to bring you in alignment with your soul tribe, which I think isn't, like I said earlier, a part of your journey in this lifetime. I'm getting that strongly. You know, I feel like you was very isolated in this most recent iteration of your life. And now, you know, you're in an age, or you've been born into an age where these things are now available to you, and you're not going to be as persecuted as you might have been in this one. And you're being encouraged to do that. Just step out, you know. That doesn't have to be anything big. Just, you know, here's like a little coffee date, a little chat, a little meeting. This could be as much as just chatting on, you know, the YouTube comments or something of you know, of a community that you're interested in, you know, something like that. That is going to really help you step into your confidence with your authenticity and embracing these gifts, embracing these aspects of yourself. Okay, do not stay isolated and alone, feeling no one's going to understand these gifts, people are going to ridicule me, etc. That is not the case. I'm being told strongly that this lifetime is here to show you that that is not the case, okay? The lifetime that you're in right now. And it's going to make you feel happy. You know, we have the happiness card following that. Okay, the sun card. I said the sun card rather, which is, you know, happiness. Okay, and also I always, you know, although it is related to the heart, okay, I always see solar plexus energy within this with the yellow color. Okay, so you're going to help you build your confidence through this, you know, through making those connections and realizing, oh wow, I'm not the only one. Oh God, other people think these things. Because I feel like some of you just will end up very bored and stagnant in this lifetime if you don't seek out people that you really connect with, you know, that understand you on this level, because you're very highly evolved. Like I said, a spiritual person. There's a lot of depth to you, okay? And you may be just awakening to this right now. You may have been awakened to this a very long time ago. Either or, whichever way, like, aspect of the journey that you're on right now is going to be different for each of you. You may start to just feel very bored and not happy in where you're at if you're not connecting with like-minded people, is what I want to say. And that's why this encouragement is there, because it is there to make you feel happier. It's there to make you feel more confident, okay? And this is what is going to help you, your gifts, like, shoot up, you know? Your ability to help others, etc. is going to just go through the roof once you do this, once you connect. Okay, you're here to connect. You've connected to source, and you have to connect to the material. I'm being told now you have to connect to other people, other souls here on this journey with you. Okay, you can do it. Okay, with the sun card, this is drawing more into, okay, how you're going to get over these sort of issues of creating boundaries, I want to say. And this is all about trusting yourself, okay, and trusting your feelings. Like I said, you guys have very, very good intuition. Please trust it. I know when we've gone through hardships, it can be kind of difficult to differentiate between what is our fear, what is our intuition, what is my gut feeling now, what is my trauma, you know. And, you know, I'm navigating this myself as well. You know, if you're a very highly sensitive person who's probably been born with a very good intuition, but has gone through things, you know, that have been hurtful because of that. I don't want to say because of that, but we're more likely, if you're a highly sensitive person or an empath, you know, we feel things, you know, we can be quite overwhelmed by things, and we can take to heart quite a lot of things also, all right? And that can knock us. Okay, so it's about building that confidence up through connections, and also through your own kind of building up that trust within yourself again. And that's all going to be based on your feelings and your gut feelings specifically, I want to say, okay? I want to tell you that your intuition, they always say, it whispers, your fear shouts. Your intuition and your gut feelings are those feelings that tell you, nah, that's not good, but they don't have to offer you an explanation for it. A fear that's telling you, no, that's not good, it's going to come with because of this and that happened. Okay, this was something that I actually, if I remember her name, I'll put her name in the description. She's a really funny and really cool kind of spiritual kind of talker on Instagram. Spiritual, I don't even know if spiritual really, I think she's psychological, spiritual, the whole shebang. Either way, she's funny and she's very poignant, and she said that, you know, it's the fears are going to give you the but and because and this, your gut feeling is just going to be like, no, lad, I'm not doing that, that don't feel right, or yes, I'm going to do that, that feels great. Go off your feelings. What makes you happy is where you need to be. I'm being told what makes you happy is where you need to be. All right, and that's right for you. If it's making you feel good inside, keep going with it. You know, if meeting up with these people, then you're having these really deep spiritual conversations, it's making you feel happy, and you're learning more about cultures you're interested in, or practices you're interested in, or, you know, new aspect of spirituality you're interested in, and it's making you feel good and happy and energized, this is where you need to continue. You got to keep that momentum going, okay? That's what I'm being told. And all of this is going to build. Look at the sun, like that sun energy. It's going to be so bright once you kind of can keep on with this. Okay, that momentum growing, that warmth, that happiness, that ability to share. It's going to just lead to a lot of success. I want to say a lot of happiness, okay? So trust your gut feelings, and trust when you feel happy and when you feel, don't really like that, okay? And there's, so funny that this is coming through, we have a yes and we have it in reverse, which to me is like, don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to not take on things that are not yours. And this goes with physical beings as well as if you have a connection to the other world and you have things coming in you don't like. Learning how to just be like, no. Learning those protective kind of mantras to be like, I don't need to take that in. Okay, and the more you do this bit by bit, it might be scary, it might be hard at first, just bit by bit, if you just take that leap of faith to just try it, I promise you'll be surprised at how quick you make movements and build your confidence in dealing with these things, okay? And then you may have a better, more positive outlook on them, and be less overwhelmed by that. Whether it's you're an empath and you get overwhelmed by other people's emotions, but you also really have a healing aspect to you that wants to help people, okay? It's getting that balance. You're going to be able to do it better once you have good boundaries, okay? I feel like that is something that's going to really help you guys embrace these gifts from your past life, really truthfully, and just help you just elevate and go on your path more, you know, get more in touch with your spirituality and your intuition even more so. Learn all these things that you're here to learn, because you're a very curious person, and spread the word. I think you're here to be a messenger, like I said, a healer, a messenger. You're not meant to be stuck in things that, you know, don't sing to your soul, don't make you joyful. Obviously, we're not always going to be happy, and, you know, even good things for us can be hard sometimes, like I'm being told, push through that. But, you know, even that sort of gut feeling when you know, like, deep down, this is tough, but I know it's going to be worth it deep down. So please do that. Do not be afraid to say no to people. not be afraid to create boundaries with people that you feel are draining, not good for you, being that's coming through strongly. And that's all going to be just through practice, because you may feel guilty. I'm being told you may feel guilty about this initially, okay? Because when we're empaths, sometimes we can attract, or healers, we can attract, you know, I say attract, I don't know if it's necessarily that, but you know, we can come into contact with individuals that can be quite, you know, draining and taking, and that's not good. We don't want to be burnt out, and learning how to say no is just as important as learning how to say yes, I'm being told. And that will build your confidence up, okay? And eventually you will not have to feel guilty about those aspects. And you're going to be connecting with people that are not going to do that with you anyway. Like I said, if you start to step into your gifts and share them and speak about things you want to speak about, you know, instead of feeling fearful, like, oh, the people I have around me right now, they might think, oh, she's a bit of a weirdo. Well, what if they do? They're not your people, are they? You know, that's what I say. They're not your people. Do not be scared, because you never know. You by saying that you might give someone else the confidence to step forward and be like, oh yeah, I'm really interested in that too. And isn't that cool? You're going to find soulmates. I'm getting that strongly. Soulmates and soul tribes through doing this. So please do it. Okay, and we have the water here. A lot of cleansing energy. A sense of calm can be achieved even in the roughest of seas if you have compassion for the waves. Self-compassion, okay? Please don't beat yourselves up if you're struggling with this. You know, it's a lot. If you are a highly sensitive person, if you've gone through a lot of past lives, and maybe have, you know, some baggage that's come with you, you know, or you've seen a lot, you're an old soul. I feel like you're the kind of people that have been told you're old souls. It can take a lot. You know, it can take a lot out of you. It can make you feel quite heavy sometimes, quite jaded sometimes, you know, especially if you've come out, which seems like kind of your most recent past life might have been quite tough, and you might have been persecuted for these things that I'm telling you right now are gifts, and they are gifts. They always have been gifts. It's just wider society hasn't viewed them as that, you know. If that's not your, that wasn't your fault, okay? That's just another part of your growth, okay? That's a part of this human experience you had to go through to get to this lifetime, where there are changes. As much as we can moan about the modern day, we do have a lot more available to us, and a lot of more freedoms available to us right now, which, you know, is good. It's good for us sensitive souls, this sort of awakening, people understanding psychology more, understanding spirituality more, getting back into contact with nature, the earth, other ways of thinking, you know, other belief systems, you know, not being so rigid. These are all very good for people like of your nature, you know, to flourish. I do, like I said, I get water sign energy from you. I do feel like we have a lot of Pisceans, Cancerians in particular. But yeah, take that as that resonates. Not saying you exclusively have to be a water sign. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you have water in your chart though. Okay, it's going to be about tempering your emotions. Okay, I feel like if I was to get some tarot out right now, we were going to find the Temperance card pop up. And that's all about creating boundaries and healthy connections through sharing your gifts. So please, if there's anything you take away from this reading, please, in little increments, do that. Speak about the things you're interested in, you know, bit by bit. Fill people out. If you are very nervous and anxious about that, just, you know, fill people out a bit. But I feel like you're going to be surprised. These people are coming towards you because there's other people that you're on this lifetime journey with that are on the same path as you, that are looking for you as well as you looking for them. Okay, and it takes you stepping into your authenticity and your truth to be able to attract those people. Okay, you know, these are things that I'm learning myself. Like, why am I trying to be something that I'm not? I'm never going to attract who and what I need by doing that. Okay, who am I trying to please here? You know, I have to be more authentic, and it's not always easy because we fear rejection. We fear that, you know, if we've had persecution in the past life, we fear that it might be a really strong trigger for us that we might not fully understand. But it's just, you know, like they say, past life-ish. You can do this. You have it within you to do this. Okay? So I want to pull one tarot card actually, and I'm going to call this like the root. What is, you know, the most overriding thing about this reading that we need to know about? Okay? like just that's going to tie it all together. I've done quite a little bit of deep diving, but what's the root? What can we take away from this reading? Okay, just give me one card, please. One card. One card. Oh my goodness, falling out. Okay. Wow, okay, that makes a lot of sense. And for you guys, we have the Four of Pentacles, bottom deck energy, Six of Pentacles. So the root, you know, of this reading in terms of what needs to be learnt from this past life is to share now. Share these gifts. It is time. Okay, you've had to keep them to yourself in this past lifetime with this Four of Pentacles energy. You know, you may have been, I don't know if you can see on this card, there's like a whole town and this woman is separate from it, like you're separated from the people. And this might have been, you may have felt like you were banished maybe in this past life or excluded, and you're like, fine, I will keep everything I know to myself, my knowledge. If you were a healer and maybe you healed people but then were looked on as someone, you know, kind of dangerous by the rest of, you know, the village or the town, and you're like, well, forget it then, I won't help, I can't put myself at risk, I'll just have to keep this here. And you're being told in this reading, you don't have to do that anymore. Okay, the Six of Pentacles, it's time to share. Okay, it's time to share, and you was always meant to do this with the Six of Cups, and under that the Sun. Okay, this is what makes you happy deep down. Okay, you've done it in past lifetimes, you had that, this most recent one, you weren't able to do it to the extent that you would want. Okay, again, with that Sun card, sorry, I'm just seeing Ra. I'm seeing so much kind of ancient Egypt kind of imagery within your read. I wouldn't be surprised if you had a lifetime within that era. But like I said, it's time to give and receive, you know, to share these gifts now, to share what you know, to kind of, what's the word, like this kind of, I'm getting cultural exchange here as well, this kind of exchanging of kind of knowledge, you know, learn from people, do this travel that you need to, you know, once we can do it more so in this lifetime. Okay, because that's what you was always meant to do. It's what you did before in more ancient past lives with the Six of Cups here. And it's what makes you, it's your happiness, your joy, it's the sun, it's your purpose, it's your success. It's where you will find your success and your happiness. Both, I feel, will be your life's work. I genuinely feel like it will be one in the same. Your career will be part of this purpose that you're set upon, whether it's a spiritual kind of career, a healing career, something of that nature. Just don't hoard it to yourself. Okay, you're not meant to do that. This is the lifetime to share. Okay, pile number ones, you can do it. Okay, you've got more available to you now. And I think I'm going to get one more closing card. Okay, let's get an oracle card, a nice bright one. What have we got? I think the best fit for you guys would have to be the Work Your Light Oracle, because I do see light worker energy within this group, 100%. Healer energy, people highly connected, so it just seems to fit. Okay, so if you can give us one card for pile number one, just affirmation to leave them with some encouragement for this next, you know, part of their journey. One card for pile number one, please. Wow, okay, wanted to come out. Answer your call. Okay, answer the calling. What is your soul calling you to do? I mean, that's basically the whole reading there, isn't it? What your gut instincts, you know, are telling you, what these gifts you have are telling you, you know, what are these things you didn't get to accomplish in this last lifetime of yours. You'll feel them deep within you. You'll know. You know this. If you don't know it already, you've got an inkling of what it is that you should be stepping into. Because it seems like wherever you've been, you know, you're not satisfied, and because you have all this open to you, you've been awakened. I know it sounds a bit kind of hippy dippy-ish to be, oh, you're woke, but you are. You have a connection to this, whether you want to see it or not. I feel like most of you already know this, and by not stepping into this, it's making you feel quite despondent. So please, you know, this is where you're meant to be, where the water's flowing, you know. We have break the chain at the bottom, which is really interesting because you did have an ancestor pop up in this for sure, not just your past life, but I said something like a grandmother or something. It says ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. Put that out as well. Coming out of the cave, okay? Maybe you've also had like relatives, if this isn't, you know, it could refer to this past life of your own, to be quite honest with you. And stepping out now, this encouragement that you can do it, but also within your family line, if there's been these gifts being handed down and there's been people that haven't been able to practice this also, this is your chance to kind of heal that and help them. And I've definitely got that encouragement from them earlier in your reading to please go into this, please make use of these gifts that we didn't get to make use of. This is your past life telling you this, and your ancestors. I'm getting both. So please, that's such a strong message. You can do this. Don't keep it to yourself this lifetime, okay? Explore it as much as you can. Travel within, without. Learn what you need to. You know, follow your joy, follow your passions, follow the things you have enthusiasm for. You know, create those boundaries that help you stay confident, help you stay energized. You know, make those connections by showing who you really are. This is what's going to help you get to what you need to and elevate to the next part of your soul's journey. So yeah, pile number 1, that was a beautiful read, I must say. Like, please let me know how it resonated and let me know your journey so far, if you have any inklings of what this is about for you in terms of your past lives. If you've had if you know you're in touch with what was your past life already, please let me know. I'll be so interested to find out. So in the comments below, I love hearing your stories. So yeah, if it resonated, give me a like. You know, that thumbs up always helps. Please feel free to subscribe if you like this content, you know, and share if you can. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hi, pile number 2s. If this is the fossil that you chose, then this is your past life reading. Okay, this is honestly one of my favorites, and I really do love this fossil. I'm getting a lot of cerebral energy for this, like diving deep. I don't know if you can see like the spiral, like really like a lot of kind of introspection. It reminds me of the card from the Light Seers for the Ace of Swords. That sort of kind of spiral, kind of staircase going down into her mind. So yeah, I guess we'll see how that energy comes through in the reading, but that's what we got right off the bat. Okay, before we go any deeper, I think I'm going to explain to you guys how this reading is going to go. So basically, we're going to take some oracle cards and it's going to be split into kind of 3 sections. So in our first section, our oracle cards are going to be about what personality were you in, you know, what was your character in this most recent past life? Who were you? Okay, your identity. So that would be the first section. The second section, we're going to be looking at what gifts and talents did you have in this past life that have come through into this one. Okay, so gifts and talents. And thirdly, we're going to look into what are the challenges that you face in this lifetime that may still be giving you a hangover in this lifetime. Okay, these challenges that weren't able to be overcome last time round, but you know, still surfacing now, and can help kind of us with our journeys this time around. Okay, then we're going to be diving a little bit deep into looking at how this fits into your purpose this time around, and also looking at ways to maybe, you know, help those challenges in this lifetime. So hopefully that sounds good to you. So let's jump into it without further ado. What are your first oracle cards telling us? So for your identity, who were you in this lifetime? We have the Hermit. Oh, and the Swan. Okay, interesting. So straight off the bat, I feel like you guys were incredibly creative people in some way, shape or form, with the Swan here in particular. That's all about this sort of innate creative energy within us. And I'm getting a lot of reflective energy here with both the Hermit and the Swan being reflected here. So you were someone potentially more on the introvert kind of spectrum. You may identify as that now. Not necessarily, but with both these cards here, I kind of get that. Maybe partly, you know, it could have been seen as a bit of a creative genius, dare I say it. But I feel like you really did prefer your solitude in this lifetime. I feel that was just your personality type. You really like to go within, do your inner work, do that sort of searching, you know, searching for truth, as it were, spending time on your own, potentially creating. I'm really getting the vibe of, you know, philosophers, poets, writers off of this group here. This could be what kind of profession, or, you know, this is what you enjoyed doing in this past lifetime, and you didn't really mind being away from the hustle and bustle of society in order to do that. Okay, I felt that's where you felt most comfortable. You were confident in that. I don't think you were necessarily shying away out of fear, but just because you just preferred that kind of solitude. Maybe that is where you did your best work, or you were able to do your best work. Definitely getting that vibe off you guys. Even kind of guru vibes off of this. Someone who really didn't mind spending time in solitude, getting to know themselves, getting to know inner truths, getting to connect to source, things of that nature. But highly creative with it, highly. Definitely stood out from the crowd, you know, that swan there. You wasn't your average Joe, okay? You was very different. I think this was recognised in your past lifetime by those who came across you. I think you're quite a serene person also with the swan there. People saw you had like quite a peaceful demeanour about you, at least outwardly. And I think you are someone that really did get a lot from peace, that you liked that feeling. And that's why you did not like to be disturbed. I don't know why I'm just getting this sort of artist or philosopher kind of in the countryside, kind of shut away, you know, when they've decided, okay, I need to work, I need to do my life's work, you know, I don't want to be disturbed sort of thing right now. That's quite a funny image. So that's interesting. That's the sort of personality that I'm getting through from this lifetime so far. So let's move into what was the gifts and talents that you had in this past life that are coming through even into this lifetime now. Now, this was a very chatty group. I must admit, we're going to have a bit of an issue with all these cards. So a lot of cards came out for you guys, okay? But for this, we had the arrow, okay, covered up by the magic guardian. And last but not least, the gem, okay? So what I need to tell you about this is you guys, first and foremost, were very talented, incredibly gifted people with the gem there. And I felt like you knew this, but not necessarily in an arrogant way, but you knew there was something different about you, unique about you, and you were different to others, and you had something different to offer. I don't necessarily get an arrogance off that from you, as in you believing you were better than others because of this. I just think it's something you recognise within yourself, okay, that was kind of separate to what you saw around you. And you did accept that other people were unique too, but they hadn't really accepted it in themselves maybe. But you definitely were aware of this. And I think you have this in this lifetime. If not yet, you will. Okay, there is something that you really like, something, a talent or a gift that you have that's very special. Okay, and I thought other people noticed this about you in your last lifetime. Like I said, with that swan energy there too, this was noticed. And potentially in this lifetime too. That sort of creative genius. I'm getting that a lot. There's something very stand out about you, you know, this gift, these talents that you have. And your creativity with the magic guardian here, unlock the magic within. You know, you had these creative passions. You had it within you to be creative. With that magic guardian there too, you have incredible manifestation skills, I want to say. Incredible. And they could have been honed through your ability to spend that time in hermit modes, through your solitude, really. These could have been honed. And these gifts and talents, you know, incredible manifestation skills, as I said, and strong willpower, you know, that if you wanted to, you could bring these things to life. You knew that you could, and you still have that now. You have that ability now, that strong will to kind of get things done and to manifest. I also feel with the arrow here, I was a little bit when I saw that, I was like, okay, that's interesting, because that did come through for pile 1 as well. But here's very different, you know, its placement is in your gifts. And it's all about protection. And I feel like you had a very discerning character, and you still have this gift and talent in this lifestyle too, as in being able to weigh up a room and weigh up who's good for you, who's not. I think that's why you were able to spend all this time in solitude, or with a very small group of people, potentially people you deem to be close, deem to be good for your kind of path. I feel that's what you could do. You could discern who was good and who wasn't for you, and you still have that talent now. So as much as it means that you could be protective over these talents and gifts, for sure, I just feel like it just meant you were very, very perceptive and discerning about your surroundings. And you knew what was good for you. You knew what was good to help you. Like I said, where you needed to be creative, okay? What environment served you well. You knew these things deep down, and you still have this now, whether you believe me or not. You still have this now. Some of you may be thinking, oh, I don't think so. You have it within you. It's just more about potentially acting on it. I feel like in this past lifetime, you definitely did act on that. Like I said, an incredibly creative soul with strong manifestation skills and strong willpower to bring things to fruition if you chose to do so. So let's look a little bit deeper in and look at your challenges now, which even more cards wanted to come out for. So we had the shapeshifter as your first and foremost, your challenge, covered by the fire guardian, which was very interesting, and then another 2, scry mirror in reverse, and fear that light will bring about judgment. Okay, I don't know how we're going to fit all these cards in, but we're going to try. Okay, so there's a lot to dive into with this challenge, okay? Particularly, we're going to start with this shapeshifter, okay? The ability to transform and unveil your gifts. I feel like in the challenge in this past lifetime, because you were so talented, potentially was picking one thing to kind of concentrate on, or potentially life being cut short before you could kind of dive into all these talents, you know, and accept them and hone them and bring them into the light. That was definitely something I see as a challenge and an issue from your past lifetime. It may be something that is making its way into this lifetime too, this kind of indecision, or this feeling of, but I want to do this, I'm good at that, I like this too, but where do I put my energy? There is that sort of indecisive energy that I'm really getting off this challenge here, okay? And I think because you're quite a cerebral person, I want to say a deep thinker with this hermit mode, if you are someone who was a philosopher in this past lifetime, or, you know, a poet, an artist, someone that you thought really deeply about things, I feel like this could have tripped you up sometimes, okay? This could have posed as a challenge in and of itself, where sometimes there's too much thought and potentially not enough action, and then, you know, you may have run out of time, or you had anxieties about time kind of kicking in, and this could be happening right now in this lifetime also. There's also, with this scry mirror in reverse, a challenge was also a sort of rejection of some of these talents, which I find really interesting, because it seems like with your gift you knew that you had these things that were different, that made you stand out from the crowd at the time and even now. But there's a rejection of that, okay? And that comes along with this fear that the light will bring judgment. And I found that really interesting, because I got quite a confident energy off of these cards, you know. If you look at how she's standing in her sort of firepower, the magic guardian here, and the hermit's just very peaceful and serene in his solitude, which just really shows me quite a lot of outward confidence I would have said you had in this past life. But there was this, I feel like potentially you are so talented, okay, in this past life and even now, that this card actually refers to you feeling like your peace is going to be disturbed once people on a large scale start noticing what you have to bring. I don't feel like you were someone that potentially liked the limelight, liked fame or celebrity, if that was something that was available to you in this past lifetime, and even now, because like I said, you may be more on the introvert spectrum. This is what I'm getting off this. All these eyes, it looks like a crowd, right? Looking at you, and you covering your face. Like, I don't want all the attention. I don't want people to disturb my peace. You know, with this arrow here and this protective energy, you are very protective of your inner circle. You just liked having small groups of friends or a small following. Or I see you as being someone who, if you was a philosopher or artist or creative in an older era, you were kind of maybe part of a group, you know, who shared ideas, and that was where you were happiest, okay? You didn't really need the fame, is what I'm getting off of that. But I feel like a lot of people would have maybe been trying to push you because they saw you as this swan, this beautiful kind of being that had this so much potential, okay, with this gem here, so much talent, that you may have had people around you that were like, well, why? Just go for it, okay? The other part of this challenge that's coming through, which I find really interesting, is this fire guardian here. And he's all about, you know, following your passions, you know. We've got the fire element here, a lot of to do with action. And I feel that this is something, was a challenge for you, maybe because you were an introvert in this past life. Also, maybe some sense of guilt or shame about acting on desire is what's coming through from that, because this card is, you know, it relates a lot to the sacral chakra, a lot about desire, even potential sexual desire. I don't really know, take that as it resonates. But I see that more as sacral energy, which is very, you know, it's the pinnacle of creative energy also. But there was something, you shied away from that for some reason in this past life. That was a challenge for you to express that to your full capacity. Again, I think it was because of this, not wanting your peace to be disturbed by bringing too much attention to yourself. But also I got off that card a slight aspect of shame also. Like, I feel like being quite a deep thinker, you may have thought, oh, am I doing this for the right reasons? Like, should I be sharing this, you know? Should I be acting on this if it's just like for my own desires and things of that nature? And you didn't really want to do that. That's the kind of first thing that's really coming through with this fire guardian here. I feel also maybe you came from a background potentially, or an era where there was some shame attached to desire. Okay? I don't know why this message is coming through strongly. I feel like maybe your sexuality might not have been accepted in this past era also, which was maybe something that held you back in expressing yourself fully, if maybe potentially some of your work was in alignment with that. So, but that came through just strongly. That might be a message for some of you. So definitely an element of shame that had to be overcome, like not attaching desire to shame. And that seems to be the reason why maybe in this past lifetime you didn't quite get to showcase your talents in the way that you could have. I don't feel that you were that discontent by this in your past life, but I am being told that this is something that can be overcome in this lifetime if you so wish it to be, okay? This fear of judgment might not be as strong. You can still, being told that you have these gifts of being discerning and being able to protect yourself. So this will help you if this is something that you're worried about, because you can still put yourself out there, you know, for all to see, but still be a very discerning and rounded person. Therefore, any kind of judgment you're getting that you don't like doesn't have to necessarily disturb your peace. Okay, that's hopefully that came across coherently. Being told that you have this gift to be discerning and to protect your energy, okay, so you don't have to have these fears of potential fame from your gifts and talents causing you stress, because you don't have to allow it to do so, okay? And you shouldn't shy away from sharing these gifts because of that reason. I'm also being told in this lifetime with this shapeshifter energy that you probably have more time available to you to discover and transform and kind of hone each of these talents. And it's okay to be a jack of all trades, you know. We have this era we're in now where people do so many different things. Okay, we do have to be a bit discerning and choose certain things that we're going to focus on. We don't want to take on too much. But you can be a bit of everything. You can be a singer, you can be a writer, you can be a philosopher, you can be a YouTuber, you can be all these things in one, a TikToker, you know. You don't have to just be one thing now. And I feel like you might have been in an era where it was kind of more kind of you pick a route of what you're going to be, and that's that. And that might have held you back in this past life. But now you have these doors open to you. I want to say as well, like I said, so many cards flew out for you, but you had 2 other cards that flew out. And I was like, oh, deliberating whether to put them back in. But I was, you know, I got the inclination I should keep them out. And this was the broken arrow, okay, and the snake. And now it's starting to make sense to me why I didn't put these back in the deck. That is because this is encouragement for you guys in this lifetime. This is your lifetime to transform and show these gifts, okay, with this snake shedding the old skin. You can do this, okay, and your peace is not going to be disturbed. A broken arrow represents the energy of peace, okay. You don't have to be worried about your peace being disturbed. Please have the confidence that you are able to protect yourself from energies you do not want. Like I said, you can do these things that make you, like, put you out into the public eye, but you can still have a private life. There are many people that achieve this within their lifetimes. I'll give you an example. We have the actor Cillian Murphy, you know, a very, you know, celebrated actor, brings so much to the world of film and theatre and storytelling, you know, with his ability to act. It's a gift, it's an innate talent that he's honed, okay? And he's, you know, he rarely does interviews. We don't know too much about his private life, and that's cool, but people still respect him, and he can go about his life with his, you know, small circle easily if he wants to. It's doable. There are people in this world right now that do that. So if you have these talents and the reason you're keeping them to yourself and you're not working on them and you're dilly-dallying is because you're afraid of being in the public eye, please, you don't have to worry about that and being told, okay? This is your lifetime to potentially dip your toe in that world and see how you feel, okay? And have that confidence that you can still retain your peace and solitude if you so wish. And you can always step away from it if it's not for you. But there's a reason you've been given these gifts, and I feel like that is to share, okay? It is to share. And you're such a strong and powerful person here with that magic guardian. There's so many fiery kind of creative energies here. You know, it seems like it would be kind of hard to hold those in, you know, long term through your life, okay? So please, you know, heed that. If that's something that's speaking to you, please do not be fearful of that. You have it for a reason. Please showcase it. Who knows what you might be doing, bringing into this world whole new, you know, ways of doing things that we need, you know, keeping it fresh. We need people with that strong, creative, sacral kind of energy. I really believe in that. Okay, so let's move in a little bit further now into the reading, and we're going to be looking at how to overcome these challenges, because it seems like there's a lot going on here. Like I said, you have so many cards. There is encouragement, okay, that this is the time to do it. Please don't be fearful. But let's see, like, what's going to help with that then? What can help our pile number 2s to overcome these sort of fears of being in the limelight, I want to say, and kind of really embrace their creative talents, you know? What's going to help that in this lifetime? I've already shown that we're in an era now where you can be more than one thing. You don't have to worry about choosing just one path. Explore. I'm being told, like, just try these things out. Dip your toe in them, in these kind of creative pursuits, or whatever it might be. It might not necessarily be like the arts in that regard. Like, could be that you're a philosopher, you know, you're a scientist, you're coming up with these new ideas of how to go about things, maybe in psychology or anything, you know, these whole new philosophies. We need that kind of injection of creativity within all kind of realms and kind of careers in life. So how do you pile number 2, how will pile number 2 kind of overcome these challenges? What's going to help that? Okay, so let's get 3 cards. Oh, okay, everything's falling out. We've got first and foremost blessings. Okay, right off the bat there, I'm getting you need to recognize these talents for what they are, okay? Stop with this scrying card in reverse, running away from these things you've been blessed with. Acknowledge that, okay? Deep down you acknowledge it. It's telling me it was a gift that you had then, that you acknowledged that back in your past life and you have it in you now. You need to see them as a blessing, okay? Some of you may see it as a kind of curse potentially. I don't want to stand out, like why do I have to be good at this thing, or why does this have to come easy to me, or why do I have to have these thoughts that are so out there? They're blessings, okay, and they're there to be helping all of us, I want to say, get to a more enlightened place with this card. I always see these as wands and like leading on to something bigger and better, not just for yourself but for the wider society, I want to say. I know it sounds like a big thing to say, but that's what I'm getting off that card. Okay, 2 more. Okay, so changing the perceptions that these are blessings. I was going to say maybe surrounding yourself with people that remind you of that. If you haven't got that soul tribe around you, I feel like you had them in your past life around you. I don't know if you listen to them. I found you quite an independent soul, to be honest, like kind of stubborn in a way. A stubborn creative who was already probably told you were a genius before, or you know, at least very talented, but whether you decided to do something or not was going to be your choice. I feel you probably still have that in this lifetime, but having those people around you that can kind of encourage you won't go amiss. That's another side message coming through there. So what else is going to help with this challenge? Okay, this sort of indecisive, maybe even this shame element that might be still here. Too many cards, too many. Okay, 2 more cards please. Okay, fire in reverse, interesting. And 1 more please. 1 more card please. What's going to help with this challenge? Okay, blockage is wanted to show itself there. That's interesting. I'm going to keep that out as a note, but I don't feel like it really fully wanted to come out. And magnetic pull, embracing that sort of sensual side of yourself, I want to say. Okay, 1 more card please, 1 more card. What is going to help with these challenges? There's quite a bit going on with the challenges here. Okay, look. You are meant to connect with people that are going to help you then, because that message was coming through, but that's coming through very strong here, this last card of the soulmate. And we got air. New ideas can be formulated freely when intellect meets discussion. Oh, okay, you guys are getting a similar kind of vibe in certain aspects of pile 1, as in this kind of stepping away from your solitude. They were in solitude for a different reason, isolation, because of persecution. You're in solitude out of choice because you do not want stress, you don't want your peace disturbed, is what I want to say. Okay, but there is an indication in this lifetime to overcome this challenge, okay, is to surround yourself with people. Again, I feel like you did this in your last life, but maybe you haven't found them in this lifetime, that are going to help you kind of come out of your solitude a bit, you know, stop being in your head too much, to pull you out of your kind of reverie or your introspection and indecision. People are going to help you do that, and I feel you're going to find someone who's quite opposite to you that's going to actually do that. I'm getting a fire sign energy very, very strongly. So someone who's very action orientated. I'm getting such an odd couple vibe coming into my mind right now of kind of friends. You know, one's quite shy, quite introvert, quite serious, you know, and the other that's just like pulling them out to kind of explore the world with very childlike energy. That is the vibe I'm getting. So if you know a person like this, you know who I'm talking about, spend more time with them. I'm getting that come through strongly. If not, look for these kind of people, or these people are going to find you. But you have to put yourself out there, okay? Message is coming through strongly. Put yourself out there to meet these people. These soulmates are there to help you. Here, like I said, I've got like a fire sign and a water sign. I'm feeling you guys are more likely on the water sign vibe, or air signs I'm getting for you too. And this is going to help you get over these challenges of being stuck in your head too much, because they're not going to give you time to think. You might talk to them, discuss your kind of inner kind of world a bit, and your ideas, and maybe share some of your creations that you've been working on, or ideas you've been working on, and they're just going to be like, that's so cool, and pull you out to something, maybe pull you to meet other people before you have even time to think and be like, oh no, I don't know if I want to share this. I feel these are kind of people that are just going to pull you out of your comfort zone, really. And that is what's going to really help you elevate in this life. I'm getting a really fun energy of the people that want to come towards you, this soulmate energy. You may have had this person around you in this past life, I want to say. I also feel like you may have lost them earlier on in this last lifetime, because I did get the feeling you had someone or a group of people encouraging you in this past lifetime, and you're going to have them again. If you don't have them now, you definitely will. Okay, that's why this soulmate energy is there. So that's going to help you get past these challenges of accepting yourself as well, accepting your desire and passions. If you are maybe more introverted, more rigid and stuff, you might have someone that's just going to take you out to parties and things like that, but actual things you will enjoy, not places where you feel out of place. You might have thought, oh, I wouldn't like this, but they're going to take you to places that you thought, oh, actually, this is really cool, like being in these creative kind of places with others, being at these parties that are full of creatives or people discussing the ideas and things I'm really interested in too. Okay, that's something that will happen for you, or you need to seek that out, and that's just by sharing a bit more, sharing your ideas of that air energy, discussing them in whatever form that is, whether that's physically with people, over the internet, anything, just discuss your ideas. Stop keeping things to yourself so much. These are blessings, they're here to be shared, okay? And you can still protect your energy. That's not something you have to be worried about. Now, with this fire in reverse, it's an indication that there's a sort of negative association that you have towards passion. It's like a rejection of it almost here. Like you feel it can be very destructive, okay? I don't know why this is coming. I'm getting Sherlock Holmes coming through very strong with this, and more the side of him being opium addicted. So maybe if some of you are very cerebral potential, there could have been addiction problems in a past life, and that's why you find that kind of aspect of you potentially destructive, and that's a trauma that needs to be resolved. I don't know why that's coming through, but also just this need to bit by bit kind of try and shift your perception of passion and just shame attached to it. Maybe that will take going to therapy. Maybe it will take being with someone who's very different and is very passionate and shows you there's nothing to be scared of, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Okay, it's not destructive. As destructive as fire can be, it brings about new life as well, and you seem like an intelligent enough person, a very cerebral person, to be able to grasp this, okay? But it's more that you need to experience it, okay? And that's going to take, little steps of just trying to shift that perception that fire isn't always destructive, passion isn't always destructive, okay? It's not going to burn your kind of comfort so down. And I feel like with this here, this blockages, obstruction, there is an indication that to get past these challenges, you need to come out of your comfort zone, okay? You need to go to new waters, okay? You need to step out of this indecision, and it's going to be bit by bit, but there are people who are going to help you, okay? They're going to help you. So it's connections are going to help with these challenges, working on maybe your kind of element of shame attached to passion, maybe through therapy, things of that nature, and trying to shift your perception that these are blessings, okay? The things, the talents that you have, the ideas that you have, the way that you think, they are blessings, and they're here to be shared to help us all. And you can do it in this lifetime. You're here to transform in this lifetime. There's nothing to be scared of in terms of this judgment, okay? Because you can still protect yourself. That is what's coming through really strongly. Okay, but it's going to take connection. It's going to take stepping out of your comfort zone. Okay, and it's going to be little steps. But if you know these soulmates here, these people that are very different to you, but you love being around, and although they may annoy you at times, I'm getting slightly off that, they're going to help you with this. You're not alone with it, okay? You're really not alone. Keep going to these places that make you feel happy and kind of spark off that creativity again, so it kind of gets you out of that stubbornness of being in your comfort zone and wanting to be alone, being in that solitude, because you're discovering new things and honing new talents, and that makes you feel good, okay? Keep doing that, okay? Just take that decision to just try one thing. If you feel like overwhelmed because you have so many things you have interests in, just take that one step to just try out one thing first, okay? If you're not sharing anything, try that. Then, and the momentum, I'm being told, like, it's going to build and build. That fire will build and build, because once you get a little bit of a taste of that going well, you'll be like, oh, okay, you're more energized to share other things, right? And I feel like that's the way it will go for you guys. But please share, okay? There's a big indication in this lifetime you're here to share these things that you might not have been able to share fully in your last lifetime. Probably more so out of your own choice, but there are things that can be healed in this lifetime. There are things open to us in this lifetime that are going to make it easier to be that sort of jack of all trades, okay? So in the last kind of cards, I'm going to pull one tarot card, and this is the card I'm going to call the root, okay? So this is the root of the reading, kind of what is the overall thing that we need to be told, okay, within this read of yours. So let's just get that. Let's give this Light Seers deck a shuffle. So what is the root, okay? What does pile 2, you know, what is the overall message we need to just really drive home with this reading today, okay? What is the root of this reading? What is the root of this reading, okay? Doesn't want to come out. Give us one card, please. One card, the root of this reading. So interestingly, we got the Temperance card. Very interesting. We've got the Moon at the bottom. So it's just this need for balance, this balance between this solitude and this action. Okay, I feel like in your last lifetime, you kind of went not too far. That was part of your journey, but you leant towards this solitude, you know, quite a bit, in this inner world with the Moon here, you can see, and that's really coming through because the Moon was there also at the bottom of the deck. You really focused on this and spending your time alone. But you're being encouraged in this lifetime now to take the action to show your passions, you know, show your creativity, show these talents. You're able to do that now. You have more available to you in this lifetime. You know, if things can be accepted, you still have this amazing manifestation skill. So manifest it. But it's going to take connection and action, okay, and actually showcasing these gifts and talents that you have, or these ideas you have, because they're going to bring something great to this world. I know that for sure. That's coming through strongly. You're talented, you know, you have these gifts for a reason. Like, I'm just really drawn this in this Temperance card that he's like looking, and I'm really drawn to he's holding the sun here, okay? It's not going to burn you. Like, he's able to hold the sun, as in if you're scared about taking these things on and putting them out in the world and acting upon them, rather than just being in your sort of inner world and inner space and keeping all these things to yourself, these talents or these ideas, you know, because of that fear of being burned. You don't have to be. You're able to take this on, okay? Being told you're able to take on this sun, okay? You're able to take on that success. If success is something that you're scared of, you may have a bit of imposter syndrome. That's just coming through very strongly in this lifetime specifically, you know, and fear of kind of recognition or fame potentially. You don't have to be worried about that. You can take this on, okay? Your last lifetime was preparing you for that, and this lifetime there's going to be more open to you. So please do that, okay? That's the most overall message that we're getting. I think as well, I want to end your reading with some oracle cards, just to give a little bit of encouragement, okay? Encouragement on your way. Let's see, what deck do I want to choose for you guys? Okay, I've gone for the Queen of the Moon oracle for you guys, because I feel like, you know, you've got a lot of hidden talents, and the Moon has come out for you already as well. I think there are maybe some water signs amongst you. So let's see what this has to say, like some closing advice. What's going to help? Pile number 2s, please. Just one card, please. One card, please. Okay. what we got there? We have will. Okay. Well, that definitely makes sense. And masculine, the masculine on the bottom there. So definitely action, okay? And you have the will to do this. We've already seen this with the Magic Guardian. If you will it to be this power of manifestation and this strong will that you have it there already. So you don't have to feel fear when you know you can manifest things in the way that you would want them to be, okay? You have the will to change this and to bring these ideas into the world. Okay, and they will be successful. I'm being told you do have the ability to do this, so there doesn't have to be all this moon kind of energy fear around that. Okay, and with that masculine, you know, that sort of encouragement to take action. You know, you've thought these things through, you have these ideas, you've worked on these gifts in past lives, you know, and worked on these creations potentially already. Now it's time to bring them into the material. Okay, fear was under that, okay, so it's time to get over that fear. Trust under that card, okay? Take that, step into that masculine energy, that fiery, passionate energy, okay? You have it within you. There's no need to be ashamed. And like with that, I think I'm going to do your very last closing card. I'm going to take some chakra cards, particularly all of the sacral chakra ones, okay? I'm going to shuffle them and we're going to see which one comes out for you guys. Not many here, but I feel like it could be some advice because that seems like a chakra that you guys might need help with slightly. You know, this element of shame. Oh, okay, it's taking everything out. Reward myself. Interesting. Okay. It says, I know that I am truly worthy and deserve to receive the good things in life, and I give myself permission to have them. It is time to enjoy the fruits of my labours. I aim to incorporate and embrace fun and joy in my life. I realise that all work and no play is a recipe for energy flow disruption and exhaustion. What was we saying about you being potentially more the serious introvert one and having a playful friend trying to take you out of that? Okay, I allow myself to experience and receive more pleasure in my life, and I'm flexible and open to change. I am receptive to embracing activities and events that may come my way, even though I may have avoided them in the past. Oh wow, okay. An indication there, like that was such synchronicity with what I said earlier, to have fun, okay? Be a bit more sociable this time around, okay? You don't have to be in this hermit mode all the time, okay? I know if you're an introvert, you know, sometimes you need to recharge from social kind of engagements, but they can be so enriching, you know, if you're surrounded by the right people. And like I said, it seems like you have soulmates around you or going to attract soulmates to you, and you are quite discerning about who's good to have around anyway. That shouldn't be a problem, okay? You're very good at protecting your energy, I think, or you're definitely got the ability to become that way. So don't feel fearful of, you know, stepping out of your comfort zone and going to these places, you know, being sociable, going to parties, going to events, connecting with other people, just having discussions with other creatives or intellectuals or anything of that nature. Depends what your kind of gifts are in. Don't shy away from it. There's a lot to be gained from that. It's very enriching. So my beautiful pile number 2s, I'm going to leave your reading here. We have so many cards out on the table. I hope it resonated. If it did, you know, please tell me your stories. I always like to know how these things kind of play out in your lives, etc. Give us a thumbs up, you know, likes are always appreciated. They help this channel immensely. If it resonated a lot, feel free to subscribe, share, you know, if you feel it will help someone else that you know of. And I guess I'll see you in your next read. Bye! Hi there, pile number 3s. If this is the fossil that you chose, then this is your past life reading. Okay? Very transformative kind of crystal here. A lot of kind of quartz here. Sort of spiritual element. I guess a little bit of fragility with this. I don't know why. As you can see, like there's some holes that have appeared here. So that's really interesting. Definitely some transformation energy coming there. Okay, let's put that to one side for now. And I'm just going to give you an overview of how this reading is going to go. So basically we're going to have oracle cards here, and there's going to be 3 sections. Okay, and in the first section, our oracle cards, we're going to look into who was this person you were in your most recent past life, what was your identity, what personality traits did you have, things of that nature. So that's the first section. The second section, we're going to be looking at what gifts and talents did you have in this past life that you're bringing into this nowadays too. Okay, so the gifts and talents. And thirdly, we're going to look at the challenges that you faced in this past lifetime, and if they kind of have a bit of a hangover into this lifetime. Okay, so that will be thirdly. And after that, we're going to be diving a little bit deeper and just having a look at, how these kind of fit into your life today. Like, how can we help overcome these challenges if they're still being felt today? What can be done to kind of move you forward in this lifetime and your purpose of this lifetime from these past lessons? And so that's basically it. Hopefully that sounds good to you guys. And I think it's time to crack on. So let's look at your first oracle card to see who were you in this past life. Okay, we've got Wise One, which I also always see as the crone. Okay, the final form of the goddess kind of story arc. What do I want to say? Archetype. We have the maiden, the mother, and the crone. Final form. The song's coming really strongly there. There might be messages in that song for some of you. That's a final form by Everything. It's a really cool song, interesting lyrics. So yeah, if you know it or you're interested, have a look, but I digress. Okay, Phoenix and the Lamb too. Oh, big energy here. Okay, so off the bat, guys, I just need to say that you guys have been around many times. You have that in common with Power One. Okay, you have this Phoenix energy. Okay, let's not hide that. Let's bring you out. This Phoenix card here. You've been around the block quite a few times. You've had these rebirths over and over again. Okay, and this is how you've got to this kind of crone and Wise One state, I want to say, in this most recent past life. I also feel like that's just not about you having many past lives. I feel like you had to reinvent yourself and kind of rise from the ashes in this past life also. I'm getting, coming back from quite harsh things happening, maybe loss, having to reinvent yourself. It's coming through very strongly. A lot of hardships I felt like you went through in this lifetime, and you had to kind of re-emerge from them. And you did. You have great strength about you. I can definitely see that. A lot of integrity with the Lamb also there. And you have the crow, which is also another sign of a rebirth. So that's just confirming that even more. Wow, the eyes of this person in the Wise One just really bearing into my soul right now. It seems like you've been through a lot. You had gone through a lot in this lifetime, and I do really attribute it to loss for some reason. And you had to go through that to kind of elevate to where you are in terms of being this wise person, very wise person. You potentially a teacher to some. I'm seeing, like, with the Lamb here, like a shepherd to a flock, almost as though you looked after younger people or younger souls. Doesn't necessarily have to be children, it could have been, but I definitely feel there was affinity there between you and younger souls, and that you also kept that about yourself, that sort of, despite all the hardship you've been through, this sort of childlike truth and wonder. But you definitely had a sort of affinity with those kind of beings, either newer souls, and you knew you was an old soul and you would help them along, or they were very drawn to you. There's something about that here for sure, this sort of innocence that you're attracted to and what seems to be attracted to you. But there is maternal energy here also, I have to throw that out there, definitely. I'm getting through in this reading though that you may have been overlooked in this lifetime for some reason. Either you were born in the era this time round, not this time round, but in this most recent past life, where it was a transition and you had to see a lot change. Maybe you was in something where you was kind of respected, or kind of had value in that society at some point when you had to see that kind of change. I don't know why that's coming through strongly. I'm seeing someone that, I don't know why, I'm seeing like a business or something, and it being really hustle and bustling, and you being kind of, really busy, and then that sort of, people stop coming through the door. Almost like the gifts that you had, or the talents you had, or the wisdom and knowledge you had to give, got overtaken by something else or got forgotten. There's a lot of forgotten energy around you for some reason. It's because there's a bit of a sadness there when I look in the eyes of this character. That's coming through really strongly. So either, maybe you was a healer or something, and then, different types of medicine came about, or the ages changed, or maybe you were, during a wartime, able to help in the war effort, and then, especially if you were female, this is coming through strongly, when all the men come back, you're not wanted anymore. There's also something around age here also. If you did live to be quite an old age in this lifetime, this past lifetime, I feel like you was during an era where people started to look down upon those who've got older, like especially if you are female, like, oh, you don't have your looks anymore, what value do you have, things of that nature, people overlooking you in that regard, when they really shouldn't have, and because you're an old soul, I feel like if you did have these sort of, these gifts in terms of teaching, looking after younger people, guiding people, I definitely see guide energy around you, and they used to be looked upon really well, even at the beginning of this lifetime, this past lifetime, and then it wasn't acknowledged anymore. That's quite sad. But I still feel like you were keeping your integrity about you, though, with this lamb. You were still holding on to that enthusiasm for life, and that you were very strong. You kept going, because if you did live to an old age, you did well to keep going through all that loss. And there seems to be a deep knowing and understanding, because you seem to be an old soul, that you maybe have realised that was just part of the cycles of life that you were going through at that time. And you may be back around again. Very, very interesting. Getting a lot of those cards there right off the bat. So, okay, let's look at your gifts and talents from this past life. Okay, again, got quite a chatty oracle here. So we have the guardian angel, the vision, and the venom. Oh, okay, the venom, that's really interesting. I'm getting a lot of serenity and peace off of this guardian angel card. That's really interesting. Okay, so this message coming strongly. You may be a person who has a very strong affinity with angels. You may know your guardian angel. You may have a good relationship with them. Angels may be something that you work with even now in this lifetime, but it definitely seemed like you work with them in your last. You have a connection to them, strongly connection to some sort of protective force around you. You're aware of it, you could tap into it, you knew it was there, even when you was feeling alone. I feel that may have been what gave you your strength in this past lifetime through all of the hardships I feel that you probably did go through. I feel like it was a hard life, genuinely, with a lot of transition, a lot of transformation, not always in the easiest way. But I feel like your strong faith even's coming through, that your strong faith or belief system helps you get through that. Or this ability to see signs. With the vision here as well, that speaks of someone who can see synchronicities, who is at one with these sort of messages that get sent to us, like maybe angel numbers or something that are quite potent in your life right now. Maybe you do see messages in numbers, maybe you do see feathers. There's so much bird and feather energy in your reading. That we have the phoenix, she has feathers in her hair, more birds, owls, all that wisdom there too. So there's definitely a connection to both angels and birds. I want to say birds may be messages to you. If you're looking for messages, that might be the animal to look to or work with. And definitely angels is something that's coming through strongly. Very, very serene energy, very spiritual, light energy coming through off that card. I also feel like with this vision card, you had this knowing of, vision is almost like that sort of destiny and purpose, It says that we each come down with it, but the moment we're born and come to life in this form, we forget what that reason for coming back was, kind of thing, what our purpose was. But I feel like you're someone that could actually really hold on to that. You can see it in the hands here. It's a lot of serenity, but a lot of like grounded energy in this card. And I think that was very linked to your faith. And these are gifts that you have now, okay? If not, they're unlocking. They're going to unlock for you in this life as well. If you feel like you don't have that right now and you're feeling alone, I want to say you really aren't. You're a person that has strong connections to this realm, particularly your angels, so call upon them. And you have been around many times before, which might make you more able to kind of access what your purpose and means in life are with the vision here. You also have a very big imagination. I want to say very big imagination. You hold your visions for things that you want. I see you as a bit of an idealist actually, or an optimist deep down, even through hardship. Because with the Venom card here, I was a bit surprised at first because that kind of has quite negative connotations. So I was like, why is it as a gift? Why is it as a gift? It's there to show that you guys have an immense ability and strength to move through crappy situations, basically, to kind of evolve through your struggle, to help those who have gone through the same also. But I'm getting the vibe that you know that your struggles, you have gained a lot of wisdom and a lot of self-awareness through the struggles that you've been through, particularly in this past life. Anything that happened to you that seemed untoward, like didn't seem fair, it seemed like you kind of took it on with quite a lot of grace. And that is because you was very wise in this life through everything you went through, but also because of all the other past lives you've been through as well, and all of that phoenix energy, and being able to kind of transform and go through these rebirths. You're able to move through that kind of darkness, or that kind of bad kind of energy that could have brought you down, that kind of depression, or if you've gone through traumatic things, like you were able to kind of move through that. Not to say you never experienced it, no, I think you have, but I feel like in this past lifetime you was able to move through it and get to the other side, and you have that strength within you in this lifetime. So if you are going through anything, I need to say, first and foremost, you do have the ability to get through it, okay? There are entities, particularly angels around you, that want you to call upon them to help you if that is something you need. They definitely want you to know that you're not alone if you're feeling alone now. That's very standing out a lot to me with this card. Okay. So let's move into then what your challenges were in this past life. Okay, you've got a couple of cards that came out for this as well, which are quite interesting. Let's have a look. So we have the Spirit Fox, the Heart Guardian, okay, that makes sense, and Death of the Deceitful. Interesting. So these were your challenges. Okay. So if we start with the Spirit Fox here, this beautiful creature just gazing into our souls right there. Again, with all that feather energy, that's really interesting. I feel that what was quite a big challenge in this past life, and potentially maybe being felt into this lifetime of yours, is this sort of always in survivor mode. Okay, the fox has to survive. The fox has been hunted for a long time, throughout the ages, and just, has to kind of deal with that kind of persecution. I feel like a lot of hardships happened in this life for you, and you may have felt like, I just need to just keep going, but when am I going to catch a break? I'm getting a lot of tired energy off of this this part of the reading, this challenge, which definitely makes me feel like you're an old soul. I want to get on to something else that's coming through as well to do with that, but yeah, I'm feeling tiredness from this, weariness as well with this Heart Guardian card here. A lot of weariness within your heart during this past lifetime, and after it actually, that's led into this lifetime. And that is something that old souls have to go through, and you've been around quite a few times. Sometimes it gets tiring. They call it born tired. If any of you like Janae Aiko, she has a song called that. That might have some messages for you that's coming to mind. I was born tired. As time passes me by. I think I sang that wrong, but yeah, something like that. There's a tired energy. That was the challenge, and you may feel that now. You may still be someone that's very in survival mode from all this trauma. This may have come into this lifetime as well. If you've been through hardships in this lifetime, or it's just a sort of energetic kind of hangover from this past life, or feeling like I just need to survive. I just need to like get through this next bit, rather than being able to kind of sit in that kind of joy. I also feel like with this heart guardian, you went through some heartache. Actually, I would say you went through a lot of heartache in this most recent past life, if I have to be fair. I already picked up loss here, loss of connections I feel that were close to you. Maybe that sort of lack of feeling love around you. You feel like you was overlooked. And that might have really affected your sense of self and sense of self-worth. It says here, love and let yourself be loved. I feel like that may have been missing in this most past lifetime. In all different forms, romantically, potentially, you never found your romantic partner, or if you did, you lost them at a young age. But just having loves, things surrounding you that you loved. Maybe there was, like I said, something about you being in something that you was recognized potentially for and loved doing, and that was kind of slipping away. So that aspect going, people not showing you that love and kind of recognition or appreciation anymore. Although I don't feel like you're someone that really needed that kind of thing. I don't get like a bitterness from you because of that at all. I just feel like there was a loneliness there. There could have been more joy in this lifetime if it was there, doing something that you love. Like I said, this sort of attachment you had or connection you had to younger souls, feel like that might have been taken away. Maybe you lost children, or maybe the kind of work you did that involved younger people or younger souls, and not to be necessarily younger people, was taken away from you in some regard. That's kind of weird. I got a nannying kind of vibes for a second there, as in maybe you brought up children, they're very close to you. They might not have been your own, and they kind of grew up, and they might have been in a more of a higher society kind of thing, kind of maybe disappointed you. I don't know why that came through, but that did. So yeah, there was a lack of love in this lifetime, this past lifetime, and that might be something that you're dealing with now as well. Your heart may still feel weary from this past life, or maybe it's sort of patterns that have maybe followed you into this lifetime. Okay, because I feel like your person has a lot of love to give. So a lot of caring, kind of comforting, healing energy from you. Okay, and similar to part 1, you guys might have messages in part 1. There is definitely parallels to part 1 with your read, 100%. Okay, this sort of wanting more of a chance to connect, I want to say, like on a deeper level that wasn't open to you in this past life. You may have had to deal with deceit. Deceit is coming up strong. I'm seeing that word quite strongly in this card. So maybe you did have to deal with just deceit in this past life, and that became quite wearisome for you. I also feel that by the end of this most recent past life, if I'm being really honest, picking up on that tired energy, I feel that you may have been like, all right, I'm done for a bit now. I've grown quite weary, you've kind of already kind of elevated to the crone, which is the kind of last form of that, like I said earlier, last form of that kind of feminine kind of goddess energy. And maybe you're just tired now. Okay, I'm tired, I want to rest. And I feel like maybe you guys decided to just chill for a little bit, because I'm getting drawn back to this guardian angel energy. I feel like maybe this is what you guys wanted to do and be for other people. If you couldn't do it in the physical realm, you may have had a stint of doing this actually in the spiritual realm. I'm just going to throw that out there for anyone that sort of believes in that. I think that is an option. I feel like you may have served as a guide, in a different kind of realm for others. And because that seemed to be part of your life purpose on the physical realm as well, but you wasn't able to fulfill it properly in this most recent past life. But you're back here again if you're watching this video, so there's a reason you've come to this era right now and you're here. And I think that reason is because you're going to be able to do this here, okay? You're going to be able, this might have been the time to come back and actually be kind of real life guardian angel for some, or guide, because you're very, very wise. You're very wise, and you have an affinity for the younger souls around you, definitely. Some of you might be looking at me now thinking, I hate kids. I don't know. It's not necessarily have to be kids. No, I'm getting animals here too. Just different souls, man. Like there's something about that. Like you like that energy. You like to teach, you like to guide, you like to protect also and care for. There's a lot of caring energy here also. So that's really, really beautiful. There's a really nice energy coming off of you. Also with this card, the Death of the Deceitful, on top of, getting energy of you being tired of this constant kind of phoenix re-emerging from the ashes, this constant kind of rebirth. I'm getting that it may have made you slightly a bit jaded, as in like, always kind of expecting things to end, maybe. Okay, always knowing that death's gonna come. And that might be a challenge for you. You might be someone who does always expect all these good things to end, and maybe that takes away from your enjoyment of them in the moment. Okay, because you've been here so long, you've come to know so much. Is there anything more for me to learn? Well, yes, you've come back here this time around because there is more still for you to learn and more for you to teach others. I think that's coming through strongly. And I think it may be something to do with this strength that you have, all these hardships you've been through in this past life, and particularly in this life that you're in now. If you're someone that's gone through hardships, I can see you guys as being mentors or people that really help or inspire others by opening up about what you've been through, or being a support network for others, I want to say, because you seem to be a strong person. Definitely with that, that again, back to that lamb energy, like helping those who may be kind of less able, or maybe slightly, I don't know if I want to use the word weaker than you, but what I mean, like who need a bit more guidance and a bit more help, or need that kind of helping hand, because I do see you as a very strong person with a lot to offer. If you are a person, like an older person, like I feel like, these are the age, we've gone through these eras where, we used to think a lot about, look up to our elders and care about what they had to say, care about what they had to kind of offer us in their wisdom and their stories and things of that nature. I know that we're not still quite in that era with all cultures now, but I feel like there is that air that's coming back, where we are going to be listening. We need to. So moving on from that, I think we need to look at these challenges a bit more and actually look at what can help with these challenges, especially because it seems that they may be presenting themselves in this life too, in some shape or form. Okay, because you've been brought back here right now at this day and age because there is space for you to do what you could not do in this past life, okay? And that's definitely to do with helping others, I think, providing that guidance, that mentorship. I'm getting mentor energy from you, caring energy, healing energy, someone that's going to help others get through their dark days because you've been through it. And don't shy away from that, okay? Don't feel like it serves no purpose if you're feeling jaded. And And also, you know, this challenge, there's something to say, get out of this survival mode. You're not just a survivor, okay? Now you can thrive. You're in an era and you're in a space where you can thrive now, okay? So let's have that enjoyment. Let's open up that heart to get those connections going again, okay, that you've probably had in past lives. So let's have a look. How can pile number 3 overcome these challenges to do with this kind of survivor mode, you know, this kind of weary heart? What's going to help them with this to kind of serve the purpose of what I'm seeing as a kind of mentor, a guide, someone that's there to provide strength for others? Okay. Can I have 3 cards, please, for pile number 3? Pile number 3, please. Oops. Socks in the reverse. Very interesting. Okay. So it says, let's just read it, shall we? Life can't always be lived to the fullest being a homebody. Don't let your socks stop you from feeling the grass. Introspective coziness, complacency. It was in the reverse, so it definitely, there's an encouragement to get out there, okay? If you've gone a little bit into yourself in this lifetime, maybe because of some traumas from this past life or this one, you know, and it's making you not want to connect, there is this sort of call to be like, come on, step out your comfort zone a little bit, okay? You know, you can always enjoy those kind of home comforts, you know, if you need to take that rest and, you know, actually take stock of the blessings that you have maybe in this lifetime. But let's get out there as well. Okay, so that's one piece of advice. What else can we get for pile number 3, please? Some advice. How are we going to overcome these challenges? Okay, how's pile 3 going to overcome these challenges? Gift, giving and receiving. I don't know why I'm getting this kind of funny image of someone getting given socks for Christmas fair for some reason, but yeah, Earth was just shown to me at the bottom there as well. So maybe getting out in nature. You seem like you may have affinity with animals, you know, and birds, where they found out and about, free, okay? Don't be confined to your home if you can help it. I know we're in kind of weird times, and obviously everyone has different kind of potential limitations, but, you know, try and get out. That came through again. So gift, giving and receiving, okay? Be open to this, you know, this infection. I think this will go far for you, because it seems like maybe your heart chakra needs some work done in it, with this heart guardian coming up in the challenge. You know, you might have quite a weary heart. You might have gone through quite a lot of heartbreak. You may have just expected things to just end, and this is just what my life's going to be, this sort of survivor mode. But I'm being told that no, that's not it. Earth wanted to come out again, so that's definitely a confirmation. Find ways in which you can exchange with people, okay? You know, look at your community projects that are going on. I'm getting told that, okay? Anything that's around in your general vicinity, if you don't want to go too far from home, okay? Or you don't have like much what's the word, you know, if things are a bit tight for money or something at the moment, like looking at these things that are around you, these community kind of places to go that, you know, aren't going to cost anything, or the heaven and earth, a place to meet people, places to volunteer work's coming through with you guys. I don't know why, but yeah, volunteer at places where you can be of help if that's something that matters to you. You know, connect with communities to do with the things you have with this a lot of knowledge and wisdom in, okay? All of that is going to be helpful. I don't know why I got here with this gift as well, like volunteering to help with we have it in the UK, I'm not sure about other countries, but you know, getting the gifts together, like charities, I think like Bernardo's and stuff do it for like underprivileged children, and like delivering or like dressing up as Santa and stuff like that. Something what connects you with younger spirits, I want to say, or other people. I feel like that's going to be helpful. So one more card, please, that's going to help with this challenge. Ooh. We have No in reverse wanted to come out. I want to get you another card as well, to be honest, but that's basically be open, say yes to things, okay? Say yes. This is the opposite of what one of our other groups got. They were like being told, you know, it's okay to say no. Say yes, okay? have that courage, have that heart to say yes to things that bring about connection for you. Or if someone's recognized your talents now, and you know, you've become so used to people maybe overlooking you, you're like, oh wow, like, is this even real? No, take it on. They've seen something in you, you know. Step outside your comfort zone. One more card, please. No, that's way too many. One more card for pile 3, please. What can help with these challenges and this kind of... Oops. 1, another angel number there, new beginnings and stuff. What can help with these kind of... this tiredness and weariness, I want to say. What's going to help with this? New territory wanted to come out. Okay. And astral being, astral travel, should I say. So 2 cards of travel, exploration, discover. Get outside of your comfort zone, please. Get outside and into the material with the 5D, your higher self kind of in the reverse there, okay? You've done a lot of inner work. You're already kind of pretty elevated. It's time to get out and have, you know, some kind of experience in this lifetime a bit more. And that's going to involve connecting and going to places you haven't been before. You know, you've come back this time around to get something new. It's not all done. You're not finished now. You might have got to the crone, but you're not finished, being told. You're not finished. Do not be jaded and feel like, oh, well, I'm tired. I've done everything. You haven't. Okay? You still have a lot to offer. Especially, I need to say that to people, those of you that are a bit older, or, you know, if you're in a society that makes you feel like, you know, once you've got to a certain age, that's it. No way, Jose. Okay? That is not what life's about. You're here to the very end, and you're here to be a student to the very end. Even if you are wise and you are here to teach others, there's so much children and younger people can teach us with this lamb energy. You know, it's always going on about how, you know, children in particular come up and can speak to us so honestly, and they make us contemplate things like we hadn't thought about before, because they haven't become jaded. That's why I feel like young energy is going to be important for you guys to be around, not only because you can teach them something, but because they're going to teach you something new. And I think you might know that. I think you might be someone that has an affinity. You might see some of these kids, and you know, you might be of an older generation, and who, you know, a lot of people think, what the hell are these kids doing on TikTok? I don't understand. You know, want to keep themselves separate from it. I think you guys might have that sort of curiosity about you, like, wow, that's so cool. You deep down want to learn how to do these new things, even if they're not from your generation per se. Okay, or you feel like an old soul that's more connected to traditional ways of being. That's all coming back round in cycles. Look how many youngsters are getting more involved in learning about, you know, their ancestors, their past kind of cultures that they would have been a part of in a different day and age. Look at how that's all having a resurgence now. You know, all you have to do is look at the spiritual communities, the tarot communities, you know, within YouTube, what we're in right now. You know, there's a lot of youngsters coming through, and there's a space for everyone. There's so many beautiful older mentors within this kind of this realm that have been so helpful to me, like you know, indispensable. So don't ever feel like you're not, because you are. You have so much to offer still, despite what, you know, wider society may have told you at some point, or some belief you've been carrying from a past life. You know, you have value, and you're going to be open up to these new things by going to places you haven't been before, because you haven't been everywhere, okay? As much as you might think you have been well traveled, you know, or have learned about a lot of things, there's still so much to learn. You know, reignite that childlike energy that I said I saw within you again, with this vision as well. You have it there, it's a gift. If it's been kind of laying dormant, reawaken it. And you reawaken it through this exploration of new things, through these connections, through saying yes to things, you know, getting out of your comfort zone. That is what I'm being told is the most important thing for you guys, because you offer so much, and so much will be given to you in return of this gift, giving and receiving. Okay, it's not over till the fat lady sings, and she's not going to sing, okay? She's not singing for you guys. No way, no how. There's more for you to be doing here. Okay, that's why you've come back right now in this day and age. So let's make the most of it, okay? All right, I'm gonna just draw a tarot card for you now. I'm calling this card the root of the matter. So it's basically just going to give us the overarching thing we need to be the most focused on from this reading. Like, what is the most important message that has come through that we just need to like really drive home today. So if you can give me one card, please. One card for pile 3. Okay, we already got some dropping. Are we? They're both in the reverse. You know what, I'm being told we have to take them, and we're going to have to look at the bottom deck energy too. All right. Okay. 7 of Wands in reverse and the Moon in reverse. Okay, it's time to let go of these fears that you have, you know, and these boundaries you might have put up, or this kind of energy if you've become jaded from kind of going through some hardships because you've had the strength to get through them. Okay. And you're going to keep doing so, and you have to embrace this confidence, this Queen of Wands, you know, this exciting energy now. Okay, 4 of Wands as well. It's going to be, you're going to end up meeting with so many nice, cool people that are going to feel like home through doing this. Okay, you're going to have fun, you're going to connect. You know, you look at this person, they're so happy, their fire's alight, you know, they're a queen. Okay, with that wise one, that kind of most elevated female kind of feminine status. You are that Queen of Wands. You are already this person in this lifetime. You know, you're here to like have that confidence again, build that spark, recognize that spark and that sort of brilliance that you have, and pass the baton on, but also keep your own identity. It's not just about passing it on and then going on your way. No, you're still here to learn. Okay. Definitely, I'm getting kind of, again, I'm getting witchy vibes with this card with her black cat here. Maybe this is something that you're here to help, you know, the next generation to do and to kind of explore, you know. I'm definitely getting past these fears and, you know, these maybe potential defensiveness that you have through this kind of survival mode that you've had to be in either in this lifetime or the next, because you already have it in you to be protected. You're already protected, you know, with this angel energy and, you know, your own spiritual kind of energy and play and ability to meditate and create boundaries. Okay, it's still quite a serene 7 of Wands, this, so don't forget that. All right, I'm going to get some closing advice now. So oracle shall I pick for you guys? I think I'm going to pick the Queen of the Moon oracle again, because there's a lot of that kind of energy in your read. So let's have a look. What does the Queen of the Moon oracle have for us? Okay, what is going to help our pile 3? Some closing advice. Some closing advice, please. What's going to help our pile 3s? Everything's going everywhere. Oh gosh. Okay, what's helping our pile 3s through this? Give me one card, please. One card. What's going to help? Wow. Okay. We've got gratitude that wanted to come out, as in you're going to be feeling this. Okay, this is the lifetime where you will get that again. Okay, you are getting recognition. Look at these hands holding each other, and it's a younger hand. Look at that, a younger hand holding the older person's hand. Okay, well, if that's not synchronicity, I don't know what is. Okay, there is, people are grateful to have you here. Okay, they're grateful for what you have to offer. You have to remember that. Okay, you really do. That's coming through really strongly. You are going to be acknowledged for these gifts that you have to bring. Okay, you're here at this time and in this age to do that. Okay, people look up to you. Even in your life right now, you might not be aware of this. They do. They definitely do. That's coming through really strongly. Release was there at the bottom as well. It's about releasing these kind of past hang-ups, and it's understandable, you know, if you've been through some hard times and you've had to keep transforming. It can get tiring, it can get kind of very weary to keep doing that, but you've got the strength, you've made it through this venom and this toxicity. You can keep going. Okay, don't let it jade you. I don't think that it has fully. I just think that it had the potential to, and you might just be tired. Okay, release that. Release that, look at all that transformation energy of the butterflies again. This is a good thing that you have about you. Don't feel like it's a bad thing, you know, things are just always coming to an end. That's not what this was here to teach you, and I think you know that deep down. Okay, I'm going to end with one more, because you guys definitely have this vibe as well. We have the Work Your Light Oracle. Okay, give us a nice little message, you know, to close pile three's reading, please. Okay, one card, please, not three. You guys are very chatty, so a lot of cards coming through. Okay, one card, please, just one card for pile number threes. Just some closing advice. Some closing advice. We have Sisterhood of the Rose, okay? Beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher. This is your purpose, all right? This is what you're meant to be. I think you might know this deep down, and you're here to realize it again. Look at all the times, you know, I'm seeing these as other iterations of you in past lives. You know, you've done it before. You're here to do it again, and it's going to be taken in a good way this time around, more so than your last lifetime, I want to say, for sure. Keepers of the earth, you are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. But I see a lot of protective energy around you, a lot of angels. Okay, you aren't alone in this. All right, you have protection. Call upon these things. Call upon that faith that you have, and you seemingly had a very strong faith in your last lifetime. You know, make connections to that again if you feel out of touch with it, or if you are in touch with it, just hone it more. Just really take solace in that. It's going to help you. It really is. And you're going to in turn help a lot of people, I think. So please keep going, you know, please do. You are really cherished in this lifetime. Please believe that. Okay, pile number threes, that's all I've got for you today. I hope it resonated. If it did, please leave me a comment, you know, let me know your stories. I'm really always interested to see how these kind of readings play out for you guys. Give me a like if it resonated, you know, thumbs up always helps the channel, helps me continue to make videos, etc. Subscribe as well, that would be great. And yeah, share if you feel someone else may get something from these reads. So yeah, thank you so much for your time, and I guess I'll see you in the next read. Bye.